Now then, people, welcome back to the JustJoe football show. And I couldn't even tell you the number now, but it's insert number here, episode of Counterpoint. Hope you're all doing well. Please do smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course, hit that notification bell. I'm still highly sprung after the weekend, so stuff like this, Andrew, just pisses me off. It's a minute. It's a minute of your life, bro. Like, I had someone the other day go, 1 minute intro's too long, 30 seconds is enough, and I thought...
Mine's two.
Two, I know, right? But I thought when I seen that comment, I went, well, what's another 30 seconds if that's all right then, bro? Why? What? In the time it took you to type that, 30 seconds passed, so just sit back, relax, and enjoy the intro.
We're a minute, guys. You were a minute in, you've already wound him up. Well
yeah. This as well, Wanderlust, ever the negative Leeds fan, you know you are. Borough now favourites for the title. Have a day off. Have a day off.
He's got to be one of you. He's got to be someone you know.
Who? What? Wanderlust. He's always tagging me on Twitter and coming with mad opinions. He's a bit like you, Connor, really. I know, I'm joking. How are you, mate? First and foremost, How are you? Are you feeling good?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, it's this is how important the counterpoint is. It's my missus' birthday today, and I've come away. I said to Joe, I was like, look, mate, a week in advance, I was like, we're gonna have to do it at 10. We can't do it at midday. So yeah, mate, I'm trying to be the perfect boyfriend today, but it's not started well. I have to say,
it's not started well, has it?
It's not
Fair
started
play
well,
to
has
you,
it?
bro. Fair play to you, mate. That's yeah. You'll just have to make up with it with all the presents and that after.
That's it. Well, mate. I just said to her, look, I was like, I do this with Joe every week. We can't not be doing it. And she was like, no, look, I understand. I was like, okay.
Did she do that thing when they go, it's fine? It's definitely not fine. It's definitely not fine.
That smiley face, the sad face. Yeah, it's fine. Like, oh God.
doing the Lampard like that. Yeah, it's fine.
yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
definitely right, mate. We've got to get straight into it. Archie Gray, happy?
Buzz in, mate. Get him gone. Shit house. No. It's, I've tried to give a bit of balance over it. I know yourself, mate, and many Leeds fans are viscerally annoyed by it, and I get it. I completely understand. I think I'll start on that point to begin with. I think I saw one of your tweets and I thought it was bang on, to be fair. It was the one where you said something of the likes of, you know, that Red Bull have come in, and obviously the whole notion was to keep hold of, you know, you sort of better players, or one of the better players, and you would expect with that for the academy graduate to be one of those, you know, with Archie being one of them, of course. And I think when the deal was announced and all this sort of stuff, or the deal, you know, the transfer inquiry and it happening so quick, I thought, well, obviously there's the deadline there. It sort of makes sense with regards to that. Maybe they've not got offers on the table for Nonto, Mez, Somerville, and Archie is our most lucrative player because of his ceiling, his potential. So I definitely agreed with you that because because you do look at Villa in you know, keeping hold of Grealish for 3 years in the Championship as a prime example. I think they were quite risky, to be fair, though, keeping hold of Tammy Abraham, John McGinn, Conor Hourihane. I think if they hadn't,
bro, they kept hold of Jack Grealish.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
3 years, man.
Yeah. So I think the issue is, mate, I think it's difficult because we don't know now, Joe, do we? We don't know how it's all speculative. It's all, you know, 49ers are going to be. I mean, I've seen some comments on my streams as well. They're going to be doing a runner in 3 years. It's going to be Red Bulls. You know, we're going down. We'll sell everybody, and we'll end up in 13th. I think all I've tried to do is try look at it and think, well, that could happen. Of course, anything can happen. But how I'm looking at it is, look, you have to involve, and this is what I will say. I think when we're talking about him being an icon, we're talking about him being a Leeds lad, we're talking about him coming through the academy, all this sort of stuff. We have to talk about money as well. Unfortunately, you can't separate the two. The business goes hand in hand with him being this icon or whatever he could be at Leeds United. So that's what I'm trying to do consistently. And I do look at it from a deal perspective. And maybe that's where I'm different to a lot of other people. I'm trying to look at it from a business standpoint. But football, people keep saying to me, football's not a business, but it is now more than ever. So that's how I'm looking at it now, Joe. I'm just looking at it and thinking at the start of the window, if you were to offer me 40 plus million for Archie Gray, regardless of PSR, would I even consider it then? I probably would do, but that's just the position that we're in. Joe, to just finalise, mate, before we get into it, this is for all of you lot who wanted to be playing championship football next season. This is for all certain podcasts who were talking about not wanting to play in corporate bowls every single week and wanting to be down in the championship where it's nitty and gritty and fun and the atmosphere is great. This is for all you lot, because if we're in the Premier League, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
That's fair. No one wants. Yeah. Anyway, right. So I hear obviously the business side of it and all that sort of stuff, and for me, I think, and it sounds mad, if it's a Somerville, if it's a Nonto, and I think, and I've seen a tweet you put out, and I think we should discuss it definitely, because my response initially, fuming. Naturally, I am an emotional dude, all that sort of jazz, vibes, wear my heart on my sleeve. I think the biggest problem for me, and you sort of tweeted something about along these lines, was like he was okay to go to Spurs, and I think it's only fair. Counterpoint, we both, we get into difficult conversations. Obviously, you said, so it's not okay for him to go to Brentford, but it's okay for him to go to Spurs, and if it includes players, etc. And I think the thing for me, because I read that and I'm like, he's sort of got a point, because that's what people are saying. But I think to defend my position on that, it's like Gray's the crown jewels.
That wasn't to you, by the way.
No, I know that, by the way. But I'm just saying, like, that's sort of like, I get it, because I also was getting stick off my comments saying, hang on a minute, you were fuming last night. Yeah. Now you're not so much. I think it's a lot more palatable, because now I know he's got to leave, which I'm fuming with anyway. So I've come to terms with that after a night's sleep. Honestly, Connor, I could not deal, regardless of how much money you throw at me, I could not deal with watching Archie Gray fulfill his potential at fucking Griffin Park. I could not deal watching Monday night football, Friday night football, Super Sunday, match of the day, and everyone going, oh my God, what a talent this lad is. I could not deal with him doing that at Brentford. I almost feel Tottenham is a right progression for him to make. And I still think he could move on from there. And then also the fact that we potentially could get a player, although it looks now that that's not happening either, and it just looks like it's going to be big money. But I do think, like, people were right to be angry as well, because there was a way in which it was dealt with. If we believe what we read on Wacko from Harry Crackling, which, to be fair though, bro, he was bang on the nose, because he said Brentford, and I tell you,
it's just the fact that me and you, being like, as the most popular creators on Wacko, that we're actually looking at that.
I know, yeah. Well, I get sent it, bro. I don't have Wacko. I get sent it. I'm staying away from that place.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that even the 49ers as well, bro, said to Graham Smith, what are you on about, Brentford? And then about half an hour later went, oh yeah, it is Brentford. Because what I noticed yesterday is when they'd rejected it, they gave it to Graham Smith, if you remember. He brought the rejection before anybody else, and I thought they've thrown him a bone because they know they did him dirty. And that's what I don't like. Nothing for Graham Smith. I don't care about Graham Smith. I don't care about the YEP, with all due respect. I just think it's like, it's the local journalists. So, like...
Where does close shop? Because as Leeds fans, we absolutely love the fact that 49ers are a closed shop, and now they're a closed shop with the local journalists. Is that now a problem?
Yeah, so someone else also made this point of like, we're happy when we're bringing players in that we're keeping it quiet, but they're not happy. I think it was Demar. This is the thing.
And what about Joe? With Brentford. So with Spurs, he's not going to play. He's not going to play for Spurs, in my opinion. And we're sort of looking at a situation where it comes. Obviously, there's a lot of variables when it comes to Calvin's career, but I just remember him going to City. Me and you had chats about this. Initially, I was getting pelters because I was just saying he's not good enough. He's not good enough for Manchester City. So he doesn't play. Then you get Leeds fans having a go at Man City and Pep Guardiola because he's not good enough, right? So then we all started saying, well, he'd have been good if he'd have gone to an Aston Villa or a West Ham, because then he'd have played. So now I'm looking at this Archie Gray situation, saying if he was to go to Brentford, if we were to get a decent fee for him, if the deal was structured in a certain way which benefited Leeds, he would be playing week in, week out next, like a Jensen or whatever. There's no chance he's going to be playing at Spurs. So how I see it is, you are right, in my opinion, about Brentford selling him on for a bigger fee, because I think that potentially could happen. But mate, as well, we've not seen him in the Prem. He could get into the Prem and he could flop. That could happen. Do I think that'll happen? No, but it could happen. So I don't know. Is it better for him as a football player to be exposed to more minutes, to acclimatise to the Premier League? I'd probably say so. You do wonder where it'll go at Spurs. You know, we've seen a lot of players go to Spurs and then be loaned out invariably, and it not maybe work. They've not really got that many Championship examples, and Joe Rodon included in that, being a young lad who signed for Spurs. It's not really worked for him there. So I am interested to see how this one develops. But for Brentford, mate, for me, I just thought he's going to be playing all the time, and if he's playing all the time, that's going to help his career.
See, I think at Spurs it depends where they're going to deploy him, really, doesn't it? Like, the mad thing is, for all those people that said he wasn't a right back, you could see him play there at Spurs. You could see him play there. I don't know what's happening with Porro. I don't know what's happening with I think Emerson Royale's being sold, and he will invert, and you could see him play there. Do you know what I mean? He might end up being a right back, because England have played him there. Farke's played him there.
Yeah.
There's a reason these managers keep playing him at right back, right, bro? But we'll see. Maybe we'll see. But do you think I'm right to be now very sceptical about the 49ers and the way they do business, and be sceptical about Red Bull as well? Because I now look at it, bro. You mentioned it. Where the hell's that money for Red Bull gone then? If we're having to sell Archie, which, again, we need to get into this PSR deadline, because I think it's passed. Do you know what I mean? It's 10 a.m. the 1st of July, so I assume it's passed. People are telling us, you know, that the deal's getting closer and all that sort of stuff. This is what worries me as well, Connor. Now that Spurs know we have this deadline, Daniel Levy's a shit, mate. Daniel Levy's a shit. Like, what happens now? I'm not expecting you to know this information, but we've missed the deadline, I assume. You know?
Yeah. It looks like that. I mean, this was announced, wasn't it, on the 29th, and then you're expecting it to get done really quickly. It looked like it was going to get done really quickly. The interesting part of it, Joe, was the structure. Apparently, obviously, they weren't happy with the structure of what Brentford were putting up. Does that mean that they wouldn't have had enough money to give Leeds, so that we're able to, you know, put that money toward the PSR sort of obligation that we had? You would expect that, I don't know, maybe investors and maybe the 49ers are able to put that money up. I don't know, give that money to whoever it's supposed to be going to, and then maybe like replenish that. Like, you've got an overdraft and you put it in and then you put it back to yourself. I don't know how these things are structured, but yeah, it is done. I mean, Leeds will have had to have put some money into it, and then, I don't know, maybe it's a loan, and like I just said, that they give themselves the money back. I'm not really sure how that works, but I think if Red Bull are able to, let's say you've got rid of Gray, it's awful PR. It's really bad
Terrible,
PR.
bro.
It's not good. Like,
I don't trust them at all now, bro.
Genuinely. I know, but that's they've got to understand that. They've got to understand that. Fans like yourself, fans like, you know, people in the comment section, you know, me to an extent as well. Now it surprised me, Joe. Like, you know, I'm a little bit like, ooh, okay, that's I didn't expect that straight away. That was, you know, you'd probably expected maybe them filtering out a couple of others, maybe big players or whatever, and keeping hold of Archie. That did surprise me a little bit. But I always knew he was our most sellable asset, so he's always vulnerable. But I do wonder if maybe. I know you're not going to like me saying this, and everyone's going to call me deluded, but I hope that Red Bull's influence, as the 49ers and Parag essentially said at the start, you know, in terms of us being able to keep hold of certain players, they're going to stick to that, and potentially we could keep hold of a couple of our other big players.
Bro, we're not keeping Cree, man. Connor, come on. Surely you don't believe this. Well, you do, obviously. You're not lying.
No,
there's a chance we could keep Cree?
I don't know. Yeah, once again, this is maybe I'm being a little
You'll
bit
keep
naive.
Bamford, sign Cooper on a new contract. Will that keep you happy? It will me. I know it won't you.
Well, I think if they get rid of Cree and they get rid of, they've obviously got rid of Gray, and we see Bamford starting at number 9 and Cooper.
Bro, there is a massive. I'm worried because there's a massive rebuild. People that I want to get your opinion on. I've not seen it, bro. But watch. Everyone's readiness to sell Kamara. Do we not want an 11 going into next season? I'm sorry. Like, at the minute, every man and his dog's leaving. We need continuity. I was saying, right, before this season started, we're going to win the league. I'm saying I want us to be front and centre. I expect that. Now I'm like, oh my God, I don't think it's going to be as easy as I first thought because everybody's leaving. But I still expect it from the 49ers because you told us we're better prepared this time around. All that bullshit. And then you've sold Archie Gray, which there's just been a tweet from Lyle Thomas of Sky saying medical first part was done last night. Final negotiations, expect him to join to Spurs. So it'll be at some point today. But you've done all this. So you must. It's like you must now be front and centre because, and I tell you what else as well, Connor, don't be bringing me, of course it's a bit tongue-in-cheek, but don't be bringing me Liam Miller. I now want Sammy Schmodix. I now want Morgan Whittaker, Johnny Rowe. Yeah. My expectations have gone up because you've sold the crown jewels for £40 million.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think, I'll be honest, Joe, I think short term and in this division, I think he is replaceable. I think at this level he is replaceable. Archie Gray. I do look at the whole notion at this moment in time in terms of like, you know, people saying I'd have rather Somerville have gone than Gray. I think we spoke a couple of weeks ago on the Counterpoint, and I said I didn't agree with that. If you're giving me one of them, it'd be 100% Somerville. I understand that he's a Leeds lad. I know you'll disagree with that. I know he's a Leeds lad, Archie. I know he encompasses and encapsulates everything that's Leeds.
That's
but
what it is. Yeah.
And that's it, isn't it? It's not.
I'm not saying he can't be replaced at right back in the Championship. I'm not saying that. Yeah, he can. Of course, he can.
Somerville, you can't replace at all.
Exactly right. I'm not, and I think people get it twisted. It's what he means, what he stands for. You know, there's noise of us upsetting the Gray family and all that, and maybe like people say these passion merchants and all this sort of stuff. But the club means a hell of a lot, bro. So, and I'm not saying it doesn't to you, but that's why. I'm like, nah, you can throw all that shit in the bin, and you best believe now, you know, the only way you start to get us back on side, because we're football fans and we're fickle, is brand new shiny toys. But best know they're scale electric, not fecking wooden toys that you'd roll around. You know what I mean? Shit analogy, but I want the top-notch toys, not some bargain basement stuff. You know what I mean?
100%, mate. I mean, if you go out, let's say, and when I say replaceable, everyone, I think, you know, there's a lot of really talented young fullbacks there is in this division. I mean, one to pull out is Van Ewyck, Joe, you know, at Coventry. If you to go out, let's say, hypothetically, you've got the money, you go out and replace Archie with him, I would say in the Championship, standard-wise, Van Ewyck would produce as many good performances as Archie Gray, if not better performances than Archie Gray. You know, from right back this season, there's an argument that Van Ewyck has done that. You know, so don't get me wrong, the potential, the ceiling of Archie Gray is astronomical. It is astronomical. And in 2 or 3 years, he could be playing for England. We all know that. We're all very aware of that. But right now, the here and now is Archie Gray in the short term, in the Championship, is replaceable. I think, as you just said, Joe, Crysencio, Somerville, Miller, you know, Johnny Rowe, Whittaker, whoever you want to look at, is a step down from Crysencio Somerville. So the squad will invariably get weaker. I think that's where, I don't know about you, Joe, but I think maybe some Leeds fans have been not struggling to understand as such, because it sounds condescending, but struggling to, you know, get on board with the concept that we will be weaker next season. The division will be weaker, but we will be weaker next season. Because we will have to sell some of these top players that we've got on our books, and that means that you can't really replace like for like, unfortunately. But if we are to keep hold of, let's say, Joe, a Nonto, let's say if we're living in this dream world, right, Somerville somehow sticks around and we're able to add around that, would you say that was a positive window even with Archie Gray going?
Of course, if you can keep Somerville, yes.
So for you, it hinges on keeping Somerville.
No, it doesn't really, to be honest. It's not even that. Like I say, if you go out and get me adequate replacements, and we look stronger, and these replacements are, you know, they're big name players, then No, it doesn't hinge on just Somerville. But then again, I was wrong on Gray because I was saying with Chester, he will not leave. He will not leave. I genuinely felt we'd get one more year like Calvin did, then a year in the Prem, then he goes. And I think he'd give us that. I think Gray would have given us that. But the club needs to sell for PSR, it's clear. Which again pisses me off because all the noise was, we're totally fine. And Red Bull's money was going to be there to buy, we've been through that part. But it doesn't actually hinge on that. I'll always be annoyed at them for the way that they dealt with it as well. It's the cloak and dagger, the quick nature of it. But no, if you, at the end of the window, bro, when it shuts on the 1st of September, and, the squad's deeper, the squad's got better personnel in it, it's not even about Somerville. It's just making sure that we're ready for the start of the start. Because if not, and I've said this, because of the way they've handled this situation, I believe match-going fans, and that's not to say anyone because I don't go anymore, but I believe they will be quick to turn on this ownership group because of the way this has been dealt with. I don't know what your opinion is. If we start poorly, because I don't even think people blame Farker at this stage, because it looks like he's had the rug pulled out from underneath him with Gray as well, bro, from what the stories say.
Yeah. I guess we don't know how much, is there a situation right now where it's got, they're talking about sales with Gray and Somerville. Is there a scenario right now where Red Bull have actually aided the money that was supposed to go to PSR and we have just got the money from Archie Gray as capital if they've not put that money into PSR right now? The deal hasn't been concluded. Could that be a situation, mate, where we literally have that money? And are we talking about selling Somerville? Okay, potentially. Ideally, you'd keep a hold of him. But let's say if Red Bull have aided that process, and Matt, can we please get on to Cresswell in a bit, by the way, because I'm going to lose my mind at that.
Yeah,
but it'd be so interesting to see if Red Bull have aided that a little bit, and because the deadline's passed and we haven't sold Archie, that money maybe potentially is going into it. I mean, the ideal thing would be a transfer kitty, whatever, player contracts, additions like that, sort of like financial obligations like that, which would help the club. I just think, Joe, it's really difficult now to go balls deep on the 49ers being charlatans, arseholes, wankers, all this sort of stuff when we're right at the beginning. It's not an ideal start, but like you've just said, mate, if they go out and if we see 4 or 5 more Ampadu's in terms of signings, quality of signings for such a cheap price for how good he is, surely we'll all just think, well, actually, they've done another good job again, which I did think they did a good job within the time restrictions last summer, to be honest. Can you guys see me? Is Joe gone? Hey! Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Just Joe football show with myself, Joe Wainman. And we're back here talking about Archie Gray, an absolute disgrace. Scum. I tell you, if the 49ers carry on with this shite, I tell you, I'm going off. I'm gone off. We're not having this any longer.
Dickhead.
Are you, mate? All right.
I don't know what happened there, my thing. I do not talk like that for a start. Don't take the piss. This is what kind of voice notes I get off him, by the way, in that daft Geordie accent that I haven't got. You were saying, if we get 5 or 6 more Ampadu's, right?
Yeah.
Carry on, mate. Sorry. Not in that accent,
it's all right. I'm just saying, if we do get 5 or 6 more Ampadu's, who knows? 3 or 4 even. Would you turn around and say, oh, it's been another half-decent window for them? I guess that's what we've got to wait and judge on.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair enough. For those, Joe says PSR's run over, but if you can show that a deal has begun, so long as there appears to be a serious attempt to sort the PSR, they'll allow it. So I think we're going to be fine with regards to that.
There you go.
So there you go. Big up for that. Joe the Yorkshire Mackham. I'll take that, mate, at least. I have been in the North East for 12 years, though. But do you know what? I don't know about you, Connor, but when I go away, I quickly pick up dialect. So I speak in broken English when I'm on holiday and that. Like, I'll go, water?
What do you mean when you're on holiday?
Yeah. When I go away, though, right, I'll be like, water over there, please? Yes, thank you. You know what I mean?
You're the old Steve McLaren.
Exactly. I do, bro. I can't even lie. I think I've done it when I spoke to... when we were talking about Decatur, Lara. I remember speaking to a Belgium guy, and I did it on there, and everyone was going, "What are you doing, man?" But hey, it is
Joey Barton.
Yeah, exactly. Right, we've got some super chats, then we'll get into some other stuff. Ricky, want to wish everyone a superb 24-25 season. Despite any different opinions, we all bleed Leeds, exactly. Darren Smith, I would only take 35 plus Rodon on a permanent and skip on loan. That would soften the blow. Doesn't look like there's any players involved. It is going to be a straight sale. Looks like Rodon could be on his way to Ipswich. Hopefully we could maybe get Skip, although I still feel the Championship's a step down for him. But that's just my opinion. Right. Again, yeah, I think Creel will be sold. I think that'll happen. But listen, I was wrong on Gray, so let's hope he does stay. Because of this sale, bro, and because of the Red Bull investment, what does the window look like for you now? Like, how much do you want us to be spending? How many players do you want us to be bringing in? Because if we read all the reports, mate, we might need a new goalkeeper. We'll potentially need a new back four, bar Firpo, because of Strout's injuries.
And he might go 12 months left on his deal.
Yeah, exactly. There's that as well, which we need to be signing him on a new deal, in my opinion. Go on then, what's your opinion on Firpo, actually? Would you give him an extra year? Well, he'll want more than that, because it's coming to the end of his career. He'll want 2 or 3 years, won't he? Otherwise, he'll probably leave.
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't. I think if ambition is the Premier League, then I think there's not going to be much which has changed about Junior. The step up to the Premier League is, as we know, is absolutely massive. I think his positional awareness has been found out in the Premier League. I think a lot of that as well, Joe's a bit innate when you're a footballer. I understand you sort of listen to your coach and stuff like that, but if there is any coaches, and obviously all of you will have played the game, I feel like positioning sort of like one of those things that you're just quite aware of. You either have it or you don't. And I think as a left back, obviously I know he got into the game a little bit later. He used to be an athlete. Then he transitioned into football. Maybe that's a little bit of a clue to us as to why some of his game is a little bit sparse in certain areas. But I wouldn't, because I think in the Premier League he gets, and I'll just leave it at that quite simply. I think he'll get found out again. Especially with all the world-class wingers that are up there. I do not want to see him in the Premier League again. His stock is high, Joe. I keep saying this. His stock is high right now. Is this the point where Leeds have to sell? And you are, mate, you are right. When you look at it now, and if we do take Glenn Kamara, Ren, obviously, Liga and
Would
club.
you sell Kamara?
No, I wouldn't. I like Kamara. I do. I think there's obviously there's criticisms that can be laid there. I think he is a bit of a side merchant, but in areas of the game, Joe, we need that. You need a player to be a little bit calm, composed, and calculated, and be able to slow the game down a little bit. He's very neat in those triangles, isn't he? He's a good football player at this level. Glenn Kamara. He's played in Europe very, very recently. So yeah, I'd be keeping hold of Glenn Kamara, unless once again, Joe, if it's 5 million quid and Ren come in with 15 million quid, what do you do as Leeds? You just say no again. But then it comes down to, once again, how many are we keeping hold of now? But the big thing, you asked me at the start, mate, about the transfers in, they've got to have a massive window. They've got to have a massive window. We always knew there was going to be churn this season, regardless. If we're in the Premier League, there's still going to be churn. It'd be more difficult. Always feels like there's churn at Leeds United, but this season's massive. Players out of contract, loan players going back who are so important. Your big bids coming in for your massive assets. Leeds have got to be really, really detailed here, and I'm hoping Jordan Miles is cooking some fantastic, dinner up in the background where we're going to go out but they need to be doing it quickly, mate. I think from a PR perspective, selling Archie Gray, I was seeing the rumours about Rodon and Skip, and genuinely, with some opinion on how it's gone with Gray, I think to ease the fans' anger, you would almost need to go and get a Rodon and a Skip to be able to compensate for that.
100%. Yeah, I agree with you. I do. You need something, but look, Joe Rodon looks like he's on his he's on his way to Ipswich. Done it? They've sounded him out. Leicester want him. I feel that's not happening. We should have the capital now to pay, although I do think 10 million's a little bit too much for us to be spending on a centre-back in the Championship. That's my opinion on it. I know we've discussed it before, but I almost feel now, because I'm still angry at them, fucking spend 10 million, you You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
better go
yeah.
buy him now. But listen,
Yeah.
I think people are tweeting now that the medical's been done. Understand personal terms, package now being finalised with Leeds, who can still attempt to declare this final financial year. So it looks like we're gonna do that. Looks like we'll be in for a busy day. Mate,
I wonder how much of the money as well is going toward it. I wonder if we have anything for some transfer deals, or if it all just goes straight into the PSR requirement.
Yeah. Well, it's all pure profit, unfortunately, and that's why we have to look at it like that way.
It is terrible, but I guess for me, like, and I said this at the start, Joe, for people who've just joined as well, this is why you do not want your long-term vision just because you're winning games and going to different grounds to be in the Championship. In the Premier League, this simply doesn't happen, and we have Archie Gray as a Leeds player.
Talk about Cresswell then. You wanted to talk about Charlie, mate.
Yeah. God. Bad deal for me. That one has got me hot under the collar. 3.8 million to Toulouse. I think if it had been utilised a little bit more this season by the manager, I think we'd have got an inflated figure for him. I think 3.8 million for an academy product who's been captain at England level. His family are intertwined with Leeds. Once again, very similar to the Greys, albeit not as sort of, as magnified as the Greys, but Cresswell has been with us since he was a kid. I think his brothers are in the academy as well. Richard's played for us. They all live in and around the area, and I think that one, I think he's really been hard done by. I think we could have got a good sale for him in the January window with Ipswich and Sunderland and other clubs looking at him, and there was almost a promise. It felt like that he was going to sparingly be used or be used in some context and not been used whatsoever. And I think how that's been managed, Joe, to have an academy product, if you were to ask them 3 or 4 years ago to have an academy product who's going to still be there, where we were looking at Cresswell all those years ago, potentially what he could become, has he really been given a chance to become that? I don't think so. And we're now selling him to Toulouse for 3.8 million, of which we know what's going to happen.
Yes,
he's going to go there. He's going to go there for a year and a bit. He'll do all right, and then he'll come back to a club probably in the lower ebb of the Premier League for a good fee. I don't know. I think that's really, 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 really poor business by Leeds United.
Yeah, look, I didn't see a future for him under this manager. And I think, like Joe's correctly mentioned in the chat, we've spoken about maybe potentially loaning him out, because for all we know, Farke might be gone in 6 months and a new manager might be going, why did you sell Cresswell? Yeah. I think that's another reason. And listen, Farke has to take the heat for that. But I was saying this on my stream, it's mad that Leeds United in the past 12 months... we've managed to upset the Cresswells and the Greys. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Under this ownership and the manager in effect. And I'm a big Farke fan, but I can't get away from the fact that obviously, his dad didn't help the situation. But I guess the manager needs to look past that and should have played him more. And I agree with you. 3.8 million, whatever it may be, is.
Joe, especially at periods, mate, when we were absolutely crying out for some injection in the midfield, and Cresswell coming in. How much of a step down do people genuinely believe this was? Like, Cresswell had played for Millwall against many Championship clubs the season before. They'd all loved him for 2/3 of the season. He'd played for Leeds in periods in the Premier League. I mean, he played for Leeds more in the Premier League than he has done in the Championship. And it just feels like I don't understand why people feel that this is such a step down. Captain of England under, I think it was 18s, wasn't it? I think 21s for a period of time. I don't know. I don't understand why this is. If Cresswell comes in, it's going to be why? Like the guy comes in. He's clearly got pedigree, hasn't he?
Alex Crook has just tweeted out to say, understand Joe Rodon is set to join Leeds as part of Archie Gray negotiations.
What?
But I've got it from Spurs side off someone saying that's not going to happen unless that's changed. That's according to Alex Crook. But listen, take that with a pinch of salt, people, because Alex Crook told us there was a release clause, which there never ever was, and I told people TalkSport are chatting shit at that point.
And your best person to go to on Tottenham is Alistair Gold, and he's not reported that whatsoever.
No.
So he's basically the Tottenham guy. He's not said that at all.
I've been speaking to someone this morning as well who said no one's involved and it's done unless negotiations are hitting hitting a snag, and we've gone, will give us road on then, potentially.
I've just said Lyle Thomas has just said, Tottenham close to completing deal. His first part of the medical. I think you've just read it out, haven't you? So,
I did, yeah.
Interesting about Kamara, though. I've just seen it again. Get French football news, and it's Le Quip, actually. Rennes considering.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Good. Big source. Ben Jacobs now saying the same, but he's jumping on the back of what Alex Crook said. But I tell you what, though, that a player of Joe Rodon coming back the other way and say 30 million, that softens the blow massively, doesn't it?
Is it mad that I'm a little bit disappointed in that? Is that bad? Is that bad? Like, do you know
why are you disappointed first? Tell me why.
So if you were to give me, if Archie Gray's to go out, I really wanted Skip. I really wanted Skip. Worked under Farker before, central midfielder, him alongside Ampadu. I know, look, the profiles can be quite similar. I get that, but that is just pure quality in there. It gives you maybe a little bit of license as well to get a decent fee for Kamara if he was to go. I just feel that middle of the park so important now. Archie's moved on, and we're all envisaging, him being in there. Skip being a bit of a winner, a bit of a leader. I think we need more leaders in that side. I'd have loved Skip. Skip would have been harder to do because he's a homegrown player, and I think it's going to be difficult for someone to get him out.
Do you not think he's too good for the Championship, bro?
Didn't we say the same with Ampadu?
Yeah, no, that is fair. And what about the similarity between him and Ampadu, and having Gruyev there, who looks like he's staying, and Kamara as well?
Yeah. I think Gruev's an interesting one. I think if he was sticking around, I think I'd definitely be using him as rotation. But I just thought, a double pivot there, Joe, and you almost have that license. Yeah. That different system that we're talking about. Like potentially with like 2 10s, like you Cantwell and your Buendia. If you just had a proper rig out there, and let's be honest as well, Joe. It might, if you had Skip and Ampadu. Ampadu might be the one marauding forward a little bit there, because we know he can do that. We know he's got that in his locker. So I don't think Ampadu's as defensive as people think. I think Skip moving in it'd have been a lovely one, that. But Joe Rodon, I think great if that is to happen. I will say though, I think there is definitely other centre backs out there as well for decent fees. But this
will placate a lot of the fan base. Yeah, massively. Massively. I'm like you with Rodon. There are other centre backs available, and people hammer me for it. There are, but a lot will see this as, oh my god, this is huge. Do you know what I
mean? Yeah. It'll soften the, but like someone just said there, it's definitely going to soften the blow, isn't it?
100%. It massively will. Agree with you on Cresswell. Obviously, didn't have a future under this manager, but 3.8 million seems a dud, really. Can we talk about the kit, bro? He says as he's wearing red. I can see Leeds fans going mad, but this is allowed, right? Because it's
you need to explain it, mate. Because some new subscribers to you might not understand what that is. You might look like you've just got an old Sunderland top on again.
It's an. Oh, you couldn't even see Bielsa, could you? What was I showing you? Was I? Yeah, this is a Newell shirt.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
This is a Newell shirt. But talk to me about that kit, man. I know we shouldn't really be asked about it, but I think as well, like at the time, I'm using a stick. Anything I can use to beat the 49ers with. That kit stinks, bro. That kit is minging, though.
Yeah, you're on a mission, you aren't you?
Yeah, at the minute I am, mate. I can't lie. The kit's rubbish, man.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, there were people. Saying to me, it's a lovely kit and stuff like that. I thought it'd have been, like Red Bull have kind of got a bit of a yellowy imprint. I thought maybe the bulls had been transparent, so we didn't fully see the red, and it'd be, but not because it's red, just because I think it correlated with the shirt quite nicely, like two transparent bulls and the yellow sort of strip above it. I thought that'd have been nice. I think what I will say, Joe, is when you see the full kit, have you seen the full kit where there's sort of like yellow? Blue markers that go down towards the centre part of your 6-pack, which both of us have, of course. So that bit's a little bit nicer, but yeah, mate. I mean, apparently it's the away kit in it that we're all looking at and thinking, apparently it's got the smiley badge on and stuff. Yeah. So
I was that annoyed the other day. I went, you can stick your smiley badge up your ass.
I'd trade the smiley badge for Archie Gray.
Yeah, I really don't like it. And when you actually you can go on Sports Direct, people, and put Adidas Tiro and the exact same training gym shirt is there. It's exactly the same. All they've done is put a Leeds badge on and stick Red Bull across the middle. It's a horrible shirt, and I just think it's more annoying. Yeah, the training kit's out as well today. It looks all right, but the people they've got pictured in it, Nonto, Cresswell, Thurpo, probably all won't be here.
Is it Cresswell? Is it Cresswell?
No, sorry. Somerville, I was meant to say, not Cresswell. Yeah. Definitely not Cresswell. Well, Gray though.
I've already seen the tweet. I've already seen the tweets, and it's like, oh, this means Somerville leaves, even though it was like one of last season, like Verber and Aronson.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's talk about them as well, bro. Vober, Christensen, Rocco's now gone. I know you sent me a voice note going, no,
no. I just play on that. I just play on that now because people love it.
Mate. Mate, people can't say, like yesterday, I put out a tweet saying tactical genius Southgate leaving us 2 subs for the extra time, and everyone were going, oh my god, and I was like, I'm clearly fucking joking, but yeah, hey. Anyway, Vober, Rasmus, like, I almost feel, Connor, and call me tinfoil hat paranoid, right? But I almost feel the reason we've got no fans in Germany is because it's going to be full of a team of deserters. because I don't know if you've seen this morning, the trust have reached out to like German authorities and stuff, because I don't know if you're aware of this fact, but at the same time Leeds United are there, Coventry, Rangers and Aston Villa all have German pre-season tours and all are allowed fans. So why the feck are Leeds United not? That's weird, bro.
Yeah, I can't even explain that one. I can't even. I don't know why they've. Yeah, I saw the Wacko lads tweeted out, didn't they?
Saying we made the decision, right?
Bizarre. I don't even know what reason that like. Why would you not want fans on a tour, especially Leeds fans on a tour? I don't. I mean, like you say, if we see Rasmus at right back, I'm going to end the channel anyway. I can't be bothered anymore. But if you've got like if you've got Rasmus there and Aronson, and it's a bit of a weird one. I can see everyone in chat saying Spurs Express and all this sort of stuff, just on another tangent. I think the reason they're all jumping on it now is because they've seen that from Alex Crook. I don't think it's like exclusive from Spurs Express or whatever.
No, it's not. No, definitely
not. I don't know with Rodon. Maybe it's because I still feel like he's a Leeds player. Do you know what I mean when I say that, Joe? I for some reason in my head, I still feel like
it doesn't feel like a new.
Yeah. It's not like, I know you were mentioning a shiny toy. It doesn't feel like a new shiny toy, does it?
No, you're right. What about this one? Because I did a video on this the other day. I know some people aren't sold on it, but Hledaki's now officially been released by Ipswich because he couldn't agree a new deal.
Yeah.
I rate him, mate. Rodak, would you be happy with either of them if we were to sell Melier for a big price?
Yeah, Rodak.
20 million, by the way. That's wild, bro.
I'd drive him there. I'd drive him there for 20 million. Good signing for Ipswich, by the way. Wow. But Hledaki, wouldn't mind it at all. Sort of a similar brand of football in terms of passing out from the back as well. I know they switch it up a little bit. Do Ipswich, they can go long and then they pass it out from the back, but primarily it's giving it to the fullbacks and moving up the field. So he's well versed in that style of football, so it makes sense. I just like Rodak. To be fair, he's only 27 years of age, bags of experience. He's a leader. Once again, I think it's big, not just having a timid boy in net. I think having a proper man in there who's got real experience, Premier League and Championship. I think, and he's experienced in winning it as well. I think Rodak could be a really good deal, mate. And he's still got loads and loads of years left. I couldn't believe his age, to be honest. So I'd like either one, to be honest. But Rodak's the one for me.
Yeah. Sterling, this is mad. I can't believe the readiness to which to sell Glenn Kamara. He had a very good season, to be honest. I'm a little bit surprised that people are saying this. How are you feeling ahead of the? It's official. It's official today. The new season starts on the 1st of July. I think we've got a pre-season friendly this month, bro.
No, it feels like just not any time.
Harrogate. Yeah, we play Harrogate on the 19th.
Jesus.
How confident are you going into next season? Because I was at the end of because this is, and I think the Square Ball made this point. As a fan base, it nowhere felt as terminal not going up this time as it did under Bielsa. Because under Bielsa, the squad wasn't great. We all thought Bielsa might leave. We were all panicking. This time around, we were like, okay, it's shit, but we dust ourselves down. We got the nucleus there. We got a manager who got us 90 points. Sorry, people. Let's go again. How confident are you now saying, we're ready to... I know the window's there, but how confident are you now? Because a few weeks back, mate, I'm saying we're winning the league. We're there. Front and centre, game week 1, I want us there. Where are you at? I don't know where I'm at anymore, by the way. I'm still undecided.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not, obviously, we've not done anything, have we? We're letting players go left, right and centre. We've seen rumours all the time. Obviously Harrison's gone to Everton, hasn't he? You've got Brandon Harrison staying, and that Brandon Harrison staying is probably the only bit of news we've got, really. Joe Rodon coming would be a good deal, but like we just said, mate, we almost feel like it's part of the fabric anyway, don't we? So, it's very, very dependent on what they do. Of course, it's very. If we have a quietish window and it's just sort of like Rodon and 2 or 3 other additions, I think it'll be playoff bound. I think we just need a bit of surgery, to be honest with you. But yeah, mate, obviously it depends on what the others do as well, doesn't it? But as of right now, yeah, we need some. When we get additions, hopefully, if we're able to, if we keep hold of some players, fantastic. But it feels like what they're doing now, Joe, is they're selling before they're buying. It feels like that might be a thing before we actually get into some player additions. And before that, mate, we can't really, can't really have an opinion on it, can we? I guess the expectation is top 2. But it's very, very dependent on what they do. If they go out next week and, we go out and get a Sammy Schmodix or whatever, you think, oh, bloody hell, what a signing that is, But as of right now, we can't really say anything,
I suppose. Look, Kieran Maguire's been on the second tier saying that Leeds don't have any PSR issues. Now, don't forget, folks, listen, nothing against Kieran Maguire. I've tried to get him on the show a couple of times. We've spoke over DMs. It is what it is. I'm not hammering him, but this was the same guy a couple of hours later after we didn't go up in the playoff semi-final that put up this massive clickbait tweet saying Leeds are in financial problem. They must raise 190 million right now. Now, I've actually messaged Ryan Dilks, because I've had him on the show before, to find out when that was recorded. For all we know, the second tier recording could have been done 2 weeks ago when we all felt there was no issues with FFP. But there clearly was. And if it comes out in the wash that there wasn't, and they've still sold Gray, then again, more lies and more issues and all that sort of stuff. But we don't know when that was recorded, first and foremost. It could, I dare say it was recorded yesterday. I can't imagine it, because he'd have been saying, well, they're having to sell Gray, so there must be some issues. I don't know. But again, he also tweeted, don't forget that tweet, folks, man, where he said we were in the shit, if you remember. But once I find out from Ryan when it was recorded, I'll be able to relay that, if indeed he gets back to me while we're on the stream. Connor, anything else you want to get into, mate, while we're here? I feel like we've spoken so much about Gray and sort of exercised the demons a little bit.
Yeah. I guess, mate. I guess it's. It's the 49ers, isn't it? I think it's we don't know the different stages of the deal. We don't. They could have massively helped us out. They could have got into this and done some wonders when it comes to Red Bull getting in. We can't forget that's a big deal. People think I'm in bed with the 49ers for whatever reason. I wish I was. I'm not at all. I wish I was.
You get that bag, mate. You get that bag. You get that.
Yeah. I do wish I was. Trust me, that'd be nice. But I just think football's a very reactive game, isn't it? And me and you, Joe, and every other content creator, we have to be reactive because football is a sport where things change on a dime, really. So I think that the real thing that we've got to do, like we did last window, is just maybe give them sort of 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, see what they do. Look, if they don't do anything,
you're willing to give them time. You,
I know. Yeah, I'm willing to give him time. So
trust me, watch these tweets. Why are we signing players? What's that Robbie Lyle thing? Where's the signings?
Yeah. So it'll be don't wait 6 weeks. Wait 6 days for me. But yeah, I think yeah. Don't get me wrong. If it keeps sell, and we're not seeing any incomings, it'll get you a little bit hot under the collar. Of course it will, but. Surely, with how successful this lot have been, and this is the crumb of comfort I take away from it, how successful they've been, with, in the States and stuff, and how they've been able to, do what they've done with the 49ers and how respected they are over there, and how many Super Bowl finals they've had when the 49ers were in the abyss for many, many years. Surely they are not going to have their name attached to Leeds United if they're just going to go through this absolute, financial meltdown and strip the club of every asset and leave, and for it to just be this sort of doldrum. And I think their reputation being attached to a club is massive, and that's giving me the comfort at this moment in time for us to be actually doing some good business. As someone said there, if we're able to bring in 35 million plus Joe Rodon, that I mean, look, I get we didn't want to sell Archie Gray. I get that. But if I feel like a lot of fans, if they'd been offered that, they'd have gone, yeah, go on then.
I think what will happen is, Darren, I don't know if maybe he is included as part of the deal, or we might get an inflated transfer fee. But if they give us 35 and then we have to pay 10 for Rodon, we've in effect only brought in. But hey-ho, it is what it is.
We'll never know, Joe. That's the thing. We'll never know. We'll never know.
It'll come out, won't it? Undisclosed, as they always do. Undisclosed transfer fee.
We're not going to know it. No way.
No, we're not. I just hope he goes on to be a success, mate. I can enjoy him at Spurs.
Yeah.
I couldn't have enjoyed him brought Brentford. And that's honestly, it's no shade thrown at them, but it had killed me to watch him play there. I'm like, what? And then what if we got promoted, bro? And we're lining up against Archie Gray and he's playing at the fucking G-Tech fucking community stadium against Leeds, and I'm like, what am I watching here? At least at Spurs I can go, okay, yeah, I get it. And the thing is, he can progress from Spurs. Like, I know I shouldn't make these comparisons, but Bale used it as a stepping stone. Modric did, and so did Harry Kane. I mean, so he could still move to an elite club from there, but yeah, I just hope he's a success. Are you worried about? You mentioned earlier on Cresswells and Grays. Are you worried about you losing the younger prodigies now? Because I am a little bit, bro. Harry Gray, he's apparently better than Archie, and he's a striker. Yeah. I mean, that's like, wow, come on, bring it on. What if he now? I'm off City. There's talk of City. You've got Charlie's younger brother as well. Clearly, there's a massive breakdown with the family there. Are you worried about?
You've gone full meltdown mode.
100%, man.
Youth's gone. Everyone's gone.
Honestly, what was it? I said to someone, someone sent me the Kamara tweet yesterday, and some of the responses to it, and I went, just fucking burn it all down. Burn it all down, man. Sell them all. We're done. We're done. 16 years.
Get Chelino back to be serving pasta in the canteen.
Man. 13th, 14th in the Championship. Take me home. Country road.
We're not being there in a few years. We need to get back.
I know.
But yeah, I don't know, mate. I think, hopefully not. I mean, I don't know how they're going to simmer this with. I reckon from a Gray family perspective, they'll be much more happy with him going to Spurs and Brentford. So I think that'd have probably eased a lot, to be honest. Yeah. So hopefully that'll influence them on not getting rid of it. They'll have definitely said, look, we don't want this happening ever again. We don't want this happening ever again, especially with Harry. It's happened with Archie now, and that'll probably take a while to smooth over. But we do not want this happening with Harry. Even though it's weird, 'cause it's a massive thing for the Gray family. It's a massive achievement in going to a top 4 club. But when they look at it, they want him at Leeds, which is unique.
I've just had a message from Ryan Dilks. It was 3 weeks ago that podcast was recorded, folks. So, right. And everyone's now retweeting it, and LUFC fan zone, and it was recorded fucking 3 weeks ago. So yeah, that's why. That's as it is. Right.
Graham Bailey has been told Leeds have managed to secure Joe Rodon as part of the Archie deal. Yeah, Graham is
Don't, mate. I can't.
No.
I'll never. Honestly, I know. I used to watch, and I've been on, big up to them lads, 90minute.com, but I once used to watch the transfer show, and he said that Man United would have got a better deal than Arsenal because Arsenal, Rafinha was linked to Arsenal at the time, and he said he actually thinks Man United got a better deal if they got Anthony over the line at 90 million, which they did, and we know how that turned out. So I was like, yeah, you ain't got Scooby-Doo, mate, so we'll turn that in.
It's not looking good, Brev.
No, exactly, as Castillo would say. Before we go though, mate, just to finish up, let's quickly chat about them opening 10 fixtures. Very, very tough for Leeds United. Very tough. We've actually got a good end to the season, which is great news. I'm going to get the fixtures up in a sec, but it is a tough start, mate. Some big games in there. What's the minimum? Because we didn't get a win until the first week of September, I don't think, last time around. We drew the opening game. We lost that game at Birmingham, all that sort of stuff. That cannot happen this time around. And I know I'm a backer of Farker, but even I'm like, you need to be winning these first 5. Do you know what I mean? What do you make to the fixtures?
Yeah, mate, they're tough. They are tough. They're really, really... I mean, what's that first month? Sheffield Wednesday, by the way, we need to watch out for. They're going to be a right force this year, Wednesday. They'll be top 6. I'm certain of it, with Danny Roll.
Same.
So Wednesday are going to be a big problem. And Hull's...
They're making some good business as well, Connor, aren't they?
They are. Yeah. And obviously we've got West Brom in there. Never going to be easy. And Portsmouth, mate. Portsmouth at home is not going to be easy at all. I think, it's going to be a tough start, mate. A real, real tough start. And that is... I would say that's one of the toughest starts. I think, Nancy was on the channel last week, and she was saying she said she was doing like a tally thing. And she was essentially saying, like, in terms of difficulty, she was going to put it on the Athletic, and she reckons that Leeds have the 7th hardest fixtures in the first sort of like 4 to 6 games, I think. So,
yeah.
Do you want to read out what everyone's spamming out in the chat?
Yes, I will do, mate. Joe Rodon is part of the talks between Leeds and Spurs, a separate deal. I'll share this, but Rodon would be coming back permanently. Separately. Things are quite down the line in terms of negotiations. Fee for Archie Gray in the same ballpark as Brentford deal, 40 million. So again, that comes back to what I was saying, Connor. Like Aston Villa and Chelsea did, we will get an inflated fee of 40 million, and 10 million of that goes back to Spurs straight away for Rodon, doesn't it? So in effect, we've got 30 million because we're giving them 10 straight back. Does that make sense? That's why I was a little bit like, I don't really like 30, 35 million. At least if it is 40 million, then we can then go bang, and I can sort of accept we've got 30 million plus Rodon in effect. Does that make sense?
I guess we've got to apologise to Alex Crook as well, haven't we?
Yeah, we do, yeah. Sorry, Alex Crook. Although,
sorry, mate.
Although he did say there was a release clause, which he was full of shit on. So.
Yeah. I think when he said a separate deal, but Rodon will be coming back permanently. A separate deal indicates that Leeds will get the 40 million probably, but I mean, how much is the second deal? If they turn around and say Leeds have got him for 12, 15 million, some of that 40's surely got to go into that.
Of course. Yeah. And that's how it works now, innit? Because obviously we bank pure profit, but then we buy Rodon and we can amortise that over his 4 or 5 year deal, which means we own it. And that's how football's going. It'll be the same for Spurs. They'll go, right, we've had to pay that for Gray, we'll amortise that, but then we're also getting 10 million in as profit. Like, you know how it works. So,
that's true.
Unfortunately, it is what it is. But I bet you're going live now, are you? You'll be wanting to go live, won't you?
Just had to shit myself. I just had to put it back to 1:15. This is what I mean when I'm like to my missus. I'm just like, be another 10 minutes, babe.
I can't imagine. Connor's few minutes landed this week on my channel. He's like, damn you.
I was saying to Joe, something happened. You guys might be able to tell me in the chat where it landed on my channel, and I did feel quite bad for him, to be fair. I have got a heart.
Yeah, he says. Listen, we'll leave it there then, because Connor's got a busy day and he needs to quickly do his Rodon reaction. I'll be live a little bit, not Rodon, Archie Gray reaction. I'll let this simmer for a bit and then come back later on this afternoon or evening, folks. But enjoy your day. Make sure you go check out One Leeds if you haven't already. I know you will be. His channel is in the title, so if you actually click that now, you'll go there and he'll have a live ready to go. But yeah, thanks as always for watching. It's been a great show, great debate. Big up for all the support, and we'll see you in a bit, people. Bye-bye. Enjoy your day.